Thank you all for being with us this morning. You know, it certainly should be the goal of all elected officials to increase voter participation and put voters first when setting hours for early and regular voting options. This plan is lifted directly from the Voter Protection Act, a bill I introduced with the support of my caucus in February of 2013. It should be duly noted that that bill has not received one single solitary hearing. This plan sets default hours for boards of elections across the state, but still allows boards to alter their hours if they so choose. As a diverse state, as Senator Kearney laid out, different counties may have different needs. This plan accommodates those needs. And I want to give you a very real example of the smallest county in our state, which is Benton County, which has about 13,000 or so residents, and Cuyahoga County, the largest county, that has about 1.2 million people. And I want us to imagine if all of those people were voting and someone said to Benton and Cuyahoga County, you got 4 hours. Now, that may be uniformity, but that certainly is not equity for the voters. And so voters should be put first at all times. In the 2008 presidential election, African-American voters in Cuyahoga County were 26 times more likely to have used early in-person voting than white voters. It is an uncontested fact. And Senator Kearney laid out all of the rationale as to why the judge's decision was the right decision based on the empirical data and the disproportionately negative impact that what has been done by the Republican-controlled General Assembly. And also I want to note that during the debate of Senate Bill 238, this was brought to their attention on the floor of the Senate. It was brought to their attention in committee, but they still went ahead and did it as well. And then also the impact that the hours, or the hours that voters will not have, not only had an impact on African Americans, but also has an impact on socially and economically disadvantaged folks of all ethnicities. And Judge Economy said the following, that the record is undisputed, that African Americans, lower income individuals, and the homeless are distrustful of the mail and or voting by mail. I bring that point up as the current Secretary of State has argued that, you know, it's easy to vote. Everybody can vote from their kitchen table if they so choose. But it is blatantly apparent through the election and the voting patterns of African Americans and those who have lesser incomes that they utilize in-person early voting. And it is shameful. It is immoral. It is unjust to have folks in the 21st century playing games with the voting opportunities of any Ohioan, no matter how they lean, whether it's red or blue or in between. Let the people vote. So our takeaways is that this plan gives each county board of elections the jurisdiction to put in place a schedule that best fits their needs, all while ensuring a voter-friendly environment that does not impede on the constitutional rights of the voters of the state of Ohio. We want to return the emphasis of Ohio election law to where it should be, promoting and facilitating the right to vote by all eligible Ohioans. Under this plan, no voter will arbitrarily be disenfranchised through restrictive voting hours. Local flexibility while putting the voters first. Board of Elections must have at least the following for early in-person voting. Available until 9 p.m. on the last day of voter registration. For the 5 weeks leading up to the election, a minimum of 30 hours on weekdays during the 35-day period. At least 10 of those hours must occur after 5 p.m. The last 2 weekends before Election Day, a minimum of 8 hours on Saturday, and a minimum of 4 hours on Sunday. Emphasis on minimum. On the final Monday before the election must be available from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Local flexibility. And if, in fact, an agreement cannot be reached, we have default hours in our bills. For the first 3 weeks of early in-person voting, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, except that on the last day of registration, the hours should be extended to 9 o'clock p.m. Beginning the third Monday before Election Day, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday. On Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sunday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Beginning the second Monday before election, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturday 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. On the final Monday before the election, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, minimum. This sets in motion, as Senator Kearney laid out, a solution, and it absolutely, unequivocally makes sure that in the state of Ohio, where the gold standard of voting should be the rule, that voters are placed first. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Senator